Dyan here, still at Reaveley Towers, still making videos. Today I'm going to use my paints and I'm going to do the block technique. This is a technique that I came up with, and I just call it the block technique because I do blocks. As you can see, here are some where I've just got the backgrounds done in various colours. You see, to me it's like a patchwork technique that I do. There's one with a stamp on, another one finished. You can see when you've got a really busy background, I only ever put something quite plain on the top. So there's a few tags there. What else have I got in this journal? That many journals. There's a finished one. Okay, you can see, and then I've got a quote. This is the black paint with, that's actually the black paint with white paint through the stencil and then white pen on top. So just to show you that. There's another one. This, instead of blocks, this one is striped. And then I've gone with the big stencils over the top. One more in here. Another large one, not finished. What have we got in here? There's another one. And again, the big stencils. I've gone through the big stencils onto the top. Another one half finished. Nothing's ever finished in my journals. And another one there. Oh, and a cover. A journal cover. Okay, when you're doing the journal covers, you really need to cover them in white first. It doesn't have to be gesso. You can use gesso or you can use the white paint. It doesn't really matter. But journals are brown. Okay, so if you put paint on top of a brown, you're not going to get these really bright colours. So you need to just add some white to it first. And I don't know if you'll be able to see on here. See, there's just a little bit of white under there, just in areas. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. That's what we're going to do. Let's find a spare page in here. That's a double, actually. Let's go for this one. Go next to this black one. I don't need to stick to colours as in warm or cools. I can use any colours I want altogether. I usually start off with some colours that quite go, and I usually use 4 or 5 colours. I'm not quite sure. Excuse me, I've still got this silly birthday cough. I'm not quite sure how many colours I actually use, but I just pick a colour. Let's go with the pen. I pick a colour and I just start. Okay, so I get some paint on. Very little. You can always add more, always from the lid. And I usually start in one corner and I just make a block. Sometimes they're square, sometimes they'll be oblong. So I just add some blocks. Let's have a small one there. Quite messy, not bothered. It'll all even out later. Let's have orange, pink and orange. Get some paint on. Again, just make another block. If you have too much paint, I taught this in class and there was paint everywhere and it just oozes down here and you end up wasting it. So just be careful how much paint you use. You don't need tons and tons of it. Okay, let's have here. Okay, so there's the second colour. I think I'm going to have brown. It's a lovely brown, my melted chocolate. And you just making more blocks, and you know, if you overlap slightly, there's not a lot in the lid there, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to shake it, bang it down, because I don't want tons in the lid. There we go, that's better. So we'll have that there, we'll have that coming across there. You can be a lot neater than me, I can just never be bothered. I don't see the point, as you all know. I just play, and if I like it, I like it, and if I don't, I don't. Okay, and then one more colour. What shall I have? I think I'm going to go for lime green. Why not? Occasionally I've used 5 colours, but usually I only use 4, and that's right here again. I've got 4 different colours. So that's the creaky door coming. Somebody's coming through. They better be making me a cup of tea, otherwise there'll be trouble. Yeah, it's all go here. Blooming Blackpool Tower steps. There we go. Okay, so what I do then is, my paint is semi-opaque, so you can layer it up. So you can see it's not giving a really good coverage. So all you do is you go back. I very rarely add any more on, but I just go back and I go over in exactly the same spot. I don't know if you can see. You see how solid that is compared to these two. So you just go back over the same spot. Add a tiny bit more. Don't be dragging it, but you don't want this to be wet through. Then my next one. It just neatens it up. And then the next one, that was brown. My last one was the lime green. So now I've got really solid colour on there. Okay, it's still messy, I've still got bits, etc. Doesn't bother me at all. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use stencils. And as with most of my work, if you've watched a lot of my videos, you'll realise now I do the same thing. Whatever I use in the background is all I can use on the top. So again, I'm just going to use these colours on the top, and I think I'm going to put the orange, so I don't get any more paint on it. I'm going to use the bubble stencil. I'm going to place it where the green is, and I'm just going to go over that section. Can you see? So I'm just going to go over that section with the orange. So anything that's painted green is going to have orange bubbles on. My work looks really random, but actually there is a method to all of it. Okay, it's kitchen roll. Oh. Clean my stencil. Another stencil. Let's have large squares. I'm going to use the pink onto the orange this time. I just swap the colours around. And again, you see I didn't add any more paint. You just end up with a really big mess if you do. Second one. Then we'll go to a slightly smaller stencil. So with the brown, I'll go with the brown on the pink. Cleaning all the time, because that's what I'm like. And then there's the circle. Let's have stars. Which way up is my book? It's facing me, so no. Now this time what I do is I go to the black. So on the darkest colour I go to the black, and I've just been using this earlier, so again I haven't added any more paint to it. Can you see? So I'll do that. I'll wipe all this up now because I don't need that anymore. I'm just going to work with the black now. And sometimes what I'm going to do is make this more of a quilty. So sometimes I'll take a pen and I'll draw lines and things like that. But what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to take this big square and I'm just going to, I don't know if you can see, I just picked out a portion of that to, so I've tilted the tool onto its side so that I only get so many of this coming through. Now I've just done so many of them there, but what I could do, I probably won't do them all because it's a bit time consuming in a video. I'm going to go with the smaller one. Again, I'm just going to come onto the side and you can see I'm not adding any more paint. This is the mistake everybody makes. They just keep adding paint, adding paint, adding paint, and it squelches out everywhere and they just get themselves into a right pickle. So I'm just adding bits. With the smaller stencils it's a bit harder to be more precise, but as usual I'm not bothered because you can just, I can make this, I can neaten this up later if I so want. So that's the black, and then I can also use white on the top. Now before I use the white I'm actually going to just give this a dry. And I never dry anything, as you know, but because I'm going to be in quite a hurry doing this, I wouldn't normally touch this till tomorrow, but I'm just going to give it a little bit of a dry, otherwise I'm going to get the colour everywhere. So again, let's get the white. Now I haven't used the white today, so I'm just going to add a little bit. Oh, black. That would have been fun, wouldn't it? Let's just put black everywhere. Actually, in one of the videos, there is black everywhere, but this is the white. Again, the white is semi-opaque. So if you want it stronger, you need to go over it again. So I'm just going to use this. Yeah, I'll use this one. I'll do these 3 circles here. And then I'm going to come across here. I don't know if you can see, but with this stencil, this is exactly the right size tool for the circle. So you can either leave it so you can see the underneath coming through, like so, or you wait till it's dry, which is quite quickly. Don't put, people think, oh, if I put a load of paint on at once it'll look thicker. No, it won't. It just will look exactly the same, except it'll take forever to dry. So I'm just going to come over it. I don't know if you can see, it's strengthened it a little bit. Very simple. Everything I do is easy. I don't do anything that's hard. Or should I say, it might have been hard to start with, but by the time I've perfected it to show you all, it's really, really easy to do. Again, I'm just going to give it a really quick dry. Normally I'd be throwing this to one side, just like, where's the one at the back? Have I doodled it? Like that one, and I would just doodle it another day. Tidy all your bits. So, and then I would normally get my pens, so I don't know, let's have a look. Let's get we'll have the Posca pen. And on some of these I just outline them. Am I neat? No. And again, if I outline squares in one colour, I normally do it in all of the squares of that colour. So I'm just doing, and you see, so I've just been doing the orange and pink, and this just helps make things stand out a little bit. Okay, again in these circles, I could just do some of these circles. It's up to you. I'm a doodler, so I doodle everything. Normally 30,000 feet above sea level. But it looks nice on its own, but I just like to doodle. And can you see the pen goes straight on top? When I doodle, I like fine lines. I don't like a thick pen, which is another reason why my paint had to take any pen really. The only ones that I'll probably have a difficulty with is some cheap biros. The ink will just sit on the top, but it does that anyway. It does that if you normally write on some pages. I'm just going to go around those big circles. It might not be. There we go. It's a bit too wet, you see. This is why I don't normally do it. But all right, have I eaten my pen? There we go. That's why I normally wait a couple of hours before I do anything. And then when you've done that, you can take, I don't know where everything is, white. So take this. What have we got in here? I'm just actually, do you know what I'm looking for? The new pigment pen. There's a Sharpie, because I really like that pigment pen at the moment. This is it. This is the graphic line painter, and I really like that. It's not paint. It's a pigment ink that's in there. But they've got really, really lovely fine nibs that I like. They come in tons of colours, and I've got them all. I'm quite addicted to them. But the black and white at the moment are my go-tos. There you go. Okay, I could write in there, I could stamp in there, I could mask it off and spray in there, but for a background that looks really complicated, that only took me a few minutes to do, because easy when you know how, isn't it?